guys, what is up and welcome back to my channel. As you guys can tell from the title of this video, today we're going to be doing a little mental health chat. I wanted to actually sit down and talk to you guys about something a little different, something that has been really helping me, and I thought that I would pass this wisdom along to you guys, and that would be taking on a hobby. As you guys know, YouTube is pretty much my full-time hobby. It is what I do to relieve stress. It is how I connect with people, and I wanted to talk about how much of a blessing it has been in my life in a way that you can incorporate a hobby into your life that may benefit you more than you think. So I'm going to go ahead and get into the way it helps me and why I think it's important to have one. So at one point in my life, I was on this never-ending cycle of essentially come home, watch YouTube videos, maybe read a little bit, play a few video games, go to bed, wake up, go to work, and it was the exact same schedule pretty much all week. And it got to the point where I didn't really have anything that I wanted to put my time into, so what that was doing was actually causing me to work more, and I was using the excuse of I don't have time to take on something that I love because I'm working so much. But the reason I was working so much is because I didn't have anything to put my time and energy into, something that I was really passionate about. And then about a year and a half ago, as you guys know, I started my YouTube channel and I started, Bookstagram and doing things like that. And it was really nice to have something that I wanted to do, something that I had passion for, that I was putting my time and effort into, and even sometimes even putting my money into. And I started noticing that I was taking more time for myself. I was working less. I was making more time for this thing that I was really passionate about. And I think that that's really important because I started to notice when I was, what really opened my eyes to the fact that I needed to find some kind of hobby was I started to notice I didn't have anywhere to put my pent up frustration. I didn't have anywhere to put my extra energy, any of my anger, anything like that. And I think that having a hobby, having something that you genuinely enjoy doing, or in my case, like have passion to do, is really helpful, and it can go a long way, especially when it comes to your mental health, because you're really working towards something that you genuinely enjoy. And while you may not see any monetary gain from that, because that tends to be what people base success on, is whether or not they can make money from the thing that they are doing. And I think that what needs to be focused on, especially in this day and age, is finding happiness and passion for the thing that you're doing. I have gained friendships, I've connected with a ton of people, I have, been able to connect with a bunch of different people to review books and things like that, which is something that I've always really wanted to do. I was able to launch my website. I've learned how to film and edit videos and how to build a website. I've learned all of these things, and I've gained so much more from doing that than money in a way. So I think it is very important, because I feel like if you have this passion, this thing that you like to do, this, whatever it may be, and I'll kind of go over some examples for you guys, I think that it makes everything seem just a little bit brighter. I think that it makes all of the mundane days seem brighter, because like the example I used earlier with me just working, I was just working. There wasn't anything that I was working towards. My job, I've pretty much hit the ceiling at my job. I'm a manager there. There isn't really anywhere that I can go above that, above the position that I have right now. So when I was working, I was like, why am I doing this? Because it's not going anywhere. And I feel like with a hobby, it can go somewhere. I know a lot of people who've turned hobbies into businesses. They like art, they like reading, so maybe they make bookmarks and that's like their business that they have now. Or like me, for example, I really like reading, so I decided to do a YouTube channel, and I was able to connect with publishers, and now I get books for review. I feel like you can get a lot more out of a hobby. I have another friend who really likes cross stitch, so she actually sells her really funny cross stitch designs on Etsy. I think that that is kind of what you can gain. You can really turn something that you are passionate about, a hobby that you are passionate about, into anything you'd like it to be. Now, I feel like going into it not necessarily being like, I'm going to make so much money off of this. I think that what tends to happen is when you have a passion for something and you're putting time and effort and, really thinking and cultivating and spending time with that, it has the potential to become something much better. And like I said, it definitely helps your mental health as well, because you're putting all of your frustration, anger, all of your energy, all of your upset, whatever that may be, into this hobby that you love. Now, for example, when I was trying to find a hobby, because I knew that's what I needed. I needed some kind of outlet. Essentially, all I did was I went on Google and I Googled popular hobbies, like things people do that you know, that they use to relieve stress, or they use to relieve, like, to help anxiety even, because I feel like it definitely helps anxiety as well. I find that when I have stuff to do, when I have something to put my brain power into, it definitely helps my mood. So I want to give you guys a couple of examples that I found online that I think would be very helpful. And also, these examples are examples that most of them can be done inside your home. So if you're one of those people who doesn't necessarily, you know, like to go out in public, if you know, you have your social anxiety, whatever that may be, these examples can also be done just within the house. So the first example is an example I have of something that I've actually kind of dabbled in, but that would be art. I feel like art is definitely top of the list of a hobby that people tend to take on when they, you know, want to relieve some kind of stress, if they have anxiety in their life, if they're going through some sort of trauma, because I feel like art is a great expression, whether that be art in the way of like writing, painting, drawing, coloring, you know, digital art, digital media, that kind of thing, any kind of art. I think it's a really, really good way to express yourself and express how you're feeling. And I think that of all the hobbies, I would assume that one's probably the most popular. Another hobby you can take on is music. If you've been wanting to learn how to play an instrument, if you already know how to play an instrument, maybe starting a band if you're comfortable with that, maybe teach yourself a different kind of instrument if you are already musically inclined. I think that music is at the heart of me one of the most important things. Like, I don't make music, but I really like music. I like watching music videos. I'm definitely one of those people. And I also I like learning facts about music. It's definitely a hobby that I enjoy. Another one that you guys know that I really like is plants. You would be surprised at the benefit of owning plants and how much joy and stress relief you get from having plants, and they're really good for you to have. They create fresher air in the room that you have them in. So I have a ton of plants. I actually have a video coming later this month on my plant collection and how I take care of them, and because I've been getting a lot of questions about it, and I just kind of wanted to show you guys what I'm working with. And then obviously we have reading. If you are here, chances are you probably read, but reading is an amazing stress reliever. It kind of takes you out of the world that you're in and puts you in somewhere else, and I obviously am a huge fan of reading. And this next one that I have, you kind of have to be careful with. It needs to come from a positive place, but that would be exercise. I think that exercising both the body and the mind is very important. So whether it be you know, yoga, tai chi, running, weightlifting, just stretching, whatever it may be, I think that exercise is a very, very good hobby to have. It is proven to help with anxiety and depression, and obviously will put your body in a better place as well. And then the last ones I have here are my other personal favorites, but it would be baking and cooking. I love baking. I love cooking. These are definitely things that you can do inside the home. There are super simple recipes that you can find on Pinterest. I like meal planning, that kind of thing. I think that baking is so versatile and cooking is so versatile because there's so many different recipes from so many different cultures and, you know, places that you can try and find and love. And I think that this can be a never-ending hobby, as well as I feel like this is something that you could definitely turn into a career later on if you wanted to. Alright guys, so that is it for today's video. I hope you guys found this helpful. I just was really feeling thankful for you guys and for having this hobby of mine that I have loved for the last year and a half, and I wanted to sit down and kind of talk to you about the benefits of having something like this in your life. So I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and think about subscribing, but I will see you guys in my next video.